We finally got a good game, sports fans, and this one had lots to go through as the Warriors started out hot, got another wave in the third quarter, but the relentlessness and shot making of the Rockets kept them close, fueled by plays like this. But it was the Rockets' defense that slowly wore Golden State down. With a tough physical style, they continued to use their bodies to pressure the cuts and get in their way. Already, CP3 is handsy with Curry and the ball isn't even thrown in. Tucker is connected to Klay, and when they run the ball screen, Harden does a good job to get his hands in there to pressure and deflect the ball away. On the retrieval, Harden has got his body into Curry, who has to toss up a desperation shot at the shot clock buzzer. Tucker goes chest to chest with Draymond after forcing him to catch the pass 43 feet from the hoop. They switch the handoff while on the weak side. Gordon gives Klay a hug, and the excellent switch blows up the action. Good read by Klay to cut across the lane for an opening, but Gordon jumps right back to him with some slashing at the ball, knocking it free and somehow off of Klay for a turnover. The same action off ball with Klay, and Gordon is up on it to prevent what is normally a backdoor layup. More body to keep him outside the lane and knock him off balance at the baseline, and Klay is clearly struggling. On this switch, Harden knocks his shoulder into Durant to let him know he's there. At the same time, Chris Paul is all up in Nick Young's business. He can't handle the pressure, tosses the pass, excellent steal by Harden. The terrific and active defense stymies a lot of the first looks in the offense, so it flows to a dribble handoff to Klay. Immediate switch of Capella, and isoing off the dribble just isn't Thompson's thing. And even though he gets to the rim, Capella knocks it away, then lands on his foot, twisting his knee, causing him to be gimpy the rest of the game. Klay has struggled the most with this physical pressure, and Tucker keeping in front of him and hands active causes the bad pass out of bounds. The Warriors' defense, on the other hand, struggled with its rotations throughout the course of the game, perhaps because they didn't have Iguodala, but it was uncharacteristic either way. They switch the pick and roll, Draymond then does a great job to rotate down, and it is clear that Livingston should be rotating up to the wing. Draymond was already covering the shooter in the corner, but Livingston inexplicably stunts back and they give Chris Paul 5 seconds to shoot the open jumper. There must have been an adjustment in their pick and roll coverage on the day off. Curry clearly expects someone else to drop down and contain near the block. This allows Harden to get deeper than they wanted, and on the kickout, this is clearly Durant's closeout. As you can see, Draymond again is correctly anticipating the next pass to the wing, but KD doesn't go to the ball, and it's a big triple. And deep in the fourth, you'll see some excellent team defense here. Curry rides Harden down to the block, good help by Jordan Bell, and on a kickout, great closeouts. But watch this weak side screen catch Klay all out of sorts. No need to switch, but by the time he realizes it, he's let Ariza get a free run to the hoop. The Warriors did do it perfectly on this possession as Harden crosses over to get penetration, Draymond sprints over, Durant closes out, Cook is there on the wing, Thompson gets beat but Green properly rotates out of the corner. Durant properly gets to the corner to cover, deflects the pass even, and is on top of Chris Paul, who somehow still buries the three-pointer, keeping them close. This game was as tight as can be until the third quarter, when Steph Curry erupted for 17 points and 5 three-pointers. They get the switch of Capella onto him and just let him isolate on top to see if he can get an opening. The crossover moves him enough, he gets some daylight and splash. Curry drives baseline and dishes to Bell. Watch how he gets right back behind the line. All they need to do is give him a catchable pass, Tucker was a step slow, and another splash. On this floppy set, the Rockets defend it well, taking away the pin down for both Steph and Klay. But it flows into a pick and roll, and watch how Curry drives, kicks, and replaces immediately. A great way to get an open shot. While Harden didn't shoot very well, he made a play after a terrible no call on a travel by CP3 that clearly got the Rockets going in the right direction. Catching Looney on him, he just blows right by, elevates, and basically becomes Draymond's father. That brings us to the final 2.5 minutes. Rockets up 2, and the Warriors have a weird matchup with no one for Looney to really guard. They set the ball screen with his man, he drops back in regular coverage, and for some reason Draymond chases the ball too. Easy pass back for the pop for 3, and you can see Draymond is confused as to how that happened. The Warriors run a double pin down for Klay, and his gravity sucks 2 defenders in. While Harden has got slight pressure on the ball, it should not have impacted this pass, which sails on Curry and should have been a surefire 2 points. 2 possessions later, those defensive issues from the Warriors rear their ugly heads again. You can see Steph trying to make sure that whoever is going to ball screen for Harden is picked up by someone else. Draymond doesn't get the memo, sticks with his original man, and they give up a wide open 3 and get very, very lucky. The Warriors were exploiting Harden's defense, and this possession was no exception. Curry gets him on the switch, and he gets his forearm into him, causing him to lose his balance and the ball. They catch CP3 out of position, decent recovery, but that's a good look for Klay, who just can't hit it. Great rebound by Draymond, and if he had just waited an extra second, Klay would have been wide open for a 3 in the corner. Instead, he opts to whip it across the court, and there was no need for a 3 here, but Steph jacks it up anyway, and no fireworks. They're back at it again, down 3 with 42 seconds left. They understand here that there's no need for a 3. It's a perfect 2-for-1 scenario. Curry takes it right by Ariza, but chokes the layup. Draymond gets shoved, but can only make 1 of 2 free throws. Up 2, and the Rockets could ice this with the basket. They force a switch of Curry onto Harden as usual, and Curry plays good defense to keep him in front and contest this step back into a miss. Now, I like that Steve Kerr did not call timeout. Don't let the defense set up and see if you can catch him out of position. KD comes down hard, Curry is on his left, and Klay cuts right to the same side. The pass isn't a shooting pass, and if Klay could have just waited a second longer, they would have had KD coming off the Curry screen wide open. Once they saw Klay was in trouble though, Draymond tries to call timeout, but you need to run to the referee himself and hold up the timeout sign with your fingers. None of this happens, and while the time appears to expire, there was actually half a second left when Chris Paul was fouled. He misses the first, and it seems clear to me he should have missed the second and let the time run out. D'Antoni was afraid of a lane violation and inbounding at midcourt, which is what they got anyway. The Warriors run a clump that has Draymond brush screening for Steph, and Klay getting pulled out of the way by Harden. Curry gets a wide open look, he doesn't get it off in time, it misses anyway, and now we have a 2-2 series, heading back to Houston, which means this is anybody's series. It truly feels like the Game 5 winner wins the whole thing, and if you're the Rockets, you've got to feel pretty good that you'll have home cooking. Sports fans, make sure to hit the subscribe button and adjust your settings so you can get notified immediately when we drop another great NBA video. Let us know how you feel with a thumbs up and a comment. After all, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?